horrifying there. Well, it is a series you'll only see here on CBS 47. We're highlighting those who are first to respond. And they can be police, fire, or responders without a badge, but they all make every minute counts when it comes to saving lives. And today we're highlighting the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, recently recognized for their work to arrest dozens in an undercover online child sexting operation. And joining us live today is Sergeant Chad Stokes with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office and the task force. And Sergeant, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
And just first, we know you've made significant recent arrests, but talk to us about the summer's Operation COVID chat down, the work that went into that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So with COVID happening, we saw an increase in the cyber tips, which are the tips that we receive about online sexual abuse material being disseminated. And so normally we have a big push for education. We go into the schools and we're able to push that. But with the schools being shut down and the increase in the cyber tips, we thought we needed to be a little bit more proactive. So we came up with the idea for the COVID chat down, which we utilized our affiliates all throughout the state, our federal partner, which is Homeland Security, and we put together undercover chatters to pretend to be 12 and 13-year-old boys and girls who were approached by what ended up being men online wanting to meet up with them for sexual purposes.
Which is really horrible. That's a parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. What was amazing was within minutes of going on these online platforms, we were immediately approached by these adults wanting to meet up for sex. We actually had to shut down taking new people to talk with because there were too many to be able to process.
That is horrifying. There are no words to even describe how a parent would feel that the access to their child is so easy, and your team adapted to the changes with the pandemic. You were recognized by the United States Attorney General recently for this work. How does that feel after your efforts?
Well, it feels good. We were honored just to have been nominated, but to have been selected helps validate some of the work that the detectives are doing. A lot of this work is really unknown to the public, and there's really not a lot of recognition. So for the detectives, it helps validate, it helps motivate them. This is a extremely difficult type of work, as you could imagine. But these detectives, they're well trained and they're highly motivated.
Let's talk about that emotionally. How does this work take a toll on you when you're dealing with crimes against vulnerable children, probably some of the worst things a person could ever see? Yeah,
absolutely. So in the industry, they call it cumulative trauma. The detectives that have to go through some of this material and interview these victims, we go through people's cell phones or their computers, and we have to go through and we have to find this, it used to be called child pornography. We don't call it that anymore. It's called child sexual abuse material. We go through and we label it so that we can help identify those victims, but also so that we can present it to the district attorney for prosecution. Some of the things that we do is that we have mandatory breaks. We have decompression, where we force the detectives, hey, go on a break, go for a walk, go work out, do whatever you have to do, and just get your mind right. And those aren't optional, because we've learned over the years that there's a high turnover in this work because of this trauma, because of the stress from doing this kind of work. And so we try and give them every opportunity we can to just kind of decompress.
Wow, and that makes sense. And last question for you, Sergeant,
Sure.
What is the why? Why do you all do what you do?
Well, everyone has their own motivations, but I can tell you that this level of work, it's more than just a drive for justice. Honestly, the most vulnerable victims of our society are the children. And so every detective that gets into that knows that. They're motivated by that because they know that these victims, they can't protect themselves.
All right. Sergeant Chad Stokes with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office joining us for today's First to Respond. Sergeant, thank you so much, and your entire team. We thank you for all the work you do.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. And too little, too late.